Hello everybody, welcome to Dilutions, the proper way, a video where we take you through the steps to make a proper dilution. Before we start any lab procedure, we must check to see if we're properly dressed for lab. Both Jacob and Ryan here are wearing their closed-toed shoes, their long pants, their long sleeve shirts or short sleeve shirts. You can't wear tank tops though, and their safety glasses so they can protect their eyes. Here, Jacob is holding a bottle of stock solution. Stock solution is just a solution with a known concentration, and we will use to create our dilute. We need to transfer the solution from the stock container to a separate vessel so we can pipette. Before we measure anything, we must first make a table to record our data. Here's a simple, clean table of the data collected from this dilution. You need the initial volume, final volume, and then use those two to find the volume delivered. Do not worry about mass. I was dumb and thought that we needed it. So, learn from me and read your directions carefully. Next, you're going to want to get your pipette. You're going to want to hold it towards the top with one hand so you can cover it with your thumb. And then you're going to want to hold the bulb in the other hand. And you're going to want to draw the solution up into it high enough to reach those lesser values, and then but low enough so that you're not going to actually get it into the bulb. Alright, now we just need to record the initial volume. But there's this weird little round curve here, just behind the two, and that's called the meniscus. And when we're recording, and there's a meniscus, you want to use the very bottom. And for ours, it seems that it is 1.8, but we always go an extra decimal place just to be as accurate as possible. And we chose 1.84. Now to transfer our solution to the volumetric flask, do not completely empty your pipette. It's going to be far more accurate if you record the final volume and then subtract it from the initial. Alright, here's our final volume, which reads 7.20. Now that we have the volume of the solution delivered, we need to actually dilute the solution. We're going to fill up the flask all the way to the ring on the neck. And you can't go past the ring, or else you're going to have to start over from either the concentration that you had before, if you have that, or from the base, or the very, very beginning stock solution. Here's a clip showing the last drops added to its dilution. We goofed up pretty hard with this, and our video is focused on the beaker behind the flask, and you can't really see the ring on the neck of the flask. But when we stopped, the meniscus laid right on that ring. This image is a different angle of the solution in the last clip. It shows the meniscus right on the ring, and it's still hard to see, but it's just another angle. With the dilution procedure complete, we will need to find the new concentration of the dilute. To do that, we will use the formula C1 times V1 is equal to C2 times V2, or C being concentration and V being volume. To make this a little bit easier on us, we can use the handy-dandy algebra to rearrange our formula and get it to look like the second one, which is C1 times V1 over V2 equals concentration 2, which is what we're looking for. Alright, to set up our equation, we will need to start with the first concentration, which is the stock solution. So that was a 20% or 0.2 molarity concentration, and we delivered 5.36 milliliters to our volumetric flask. And the volume 2 is always going to be the volume of the volumetric flask. And ours in this case was 25 milliliters. So when you work it all out, we ended up getting a concentration of 0.043 molarity, or 4.3%. Alright, with the lab procedure done, all that's left to do is clean up. And to clean up, you need to wash the glassware, wipe down your table, and dispose of any excess chemicals that you have. In our case, we had just sugar water, so we could dispose of it in the sink.